So it's 2026, and I mean, let's just be honest for a second. The
Mhm.
digital world today, it's barely recognizable from just a few years ago.
Oh, totally. A whole different ballgame.
Remember that like gold rush phase of affiliate marketing? You
Yeah.
could just you'd throw a link up, run a super cheap ad, and the sales would just roll in.
Hmm.
Well, looking at the data we have now, those days aren't just over. They feel like ancient history.
Right. Ad costs are through the roof.
They eat your entire margin before you even see a sale. And the platforms, Meta, Google, TikTok, they are so strict now. It's like
No.
one wrong move, one keyword they don't like, and your whole ad account is just gone.
Banned.
Yeah.
And organic reach. Forget about it.
It feels like shouting into a void unless you're somehow going viral every single day.
It's a complete market correction is what it is. We're seeing the end of the middleman effect.
right.
That model where you stand in the middle, you buy a cheap click, and then you try to sell it for a little bit more.
The arbitrage model?
That arbitrage model is dead. Consumers are they're tired. They're skeptical. And frankly, there's this massive trust deficit in the market after years of, scams and AI spam.
That's the perfect phrase for it. Trust deficit. People's guards are way, way up. And this is where it gets really interesting to me, despite all that, there's this specific group of affiliates who are just quietly crushing it.
They are.
They're not complaining about ad costs. They're not worried about getting banned. They're playing a totally different game.
Exactly. They've shifted from being, promoters, which is a pretty low-value thing to do, to being proprietors. They're building actual media assets. And that's really what we're going to break down today.
Yeah, we've got the ultimate affiliate transformation blueprint right here in front of us. And it's not a list of hacks, is it? It's more like a structural overhaul for an affiliate business in this new era.
It is. It's about building something that's resilient. Something that, and I love this phrase, requires zero hype to actually work.
Zero hype? I think we could all use a little less screaming on the internet. Now, we are going to get deep into the mechanics of this stuff. Micro-niching, trust assets, building an ecosystem. But I want to make sure you, listening right now, have the tools to actually build this with us.
Right, because theory is one thing, but practice is another.
Exactly. So, right now, before we go any further, I want you to open a new tab and go to www.highticketaffiliate101.com. That's where you can get the High Ticket Affiliate Marketing Business Course, which has the full workbook and all the resources we're about to talk about. Seriously, go to www.highticketaffiliate101.com. You're going to want that workbook open.
It's pretty essential, yeah, because we're talking about a system, not just, a bunch of random tips. We're going to cover three main pillars today: how to escape saturation, how to build a trust engine, and then how to future-proof your income.
Okay, let's start with saturation, because that is the number one thing I hear. Everything is taken. Everyone wants to be in, health, wealth, or relationships. If I start a fitness blog today, aren't I just lost in the noise?
If you start a generic fitness blog,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're fighting a war you can't possibly win. You're up against Men's Health, massive influencers, huge companies with million-dollar ad budgets.
Oh, what's the move?
The blueprint argues that the only way to win in 2026 is what it calls micro-niching.
Okay, but my concern with that is always, if I go too small, don't I lose my audience? Like, is there anyone left to sell to if I niche down too far?
And that's the paradox, right? On the modern internet, small is actually massive. Let's use the examples from the source material. The old way is just fitness advice.
Right.
Broad, competitive, super expensive.
Right.
The micro-niche way is something like strength training for nurses.
Strength training for nurses. Okay, I like that. Let's break that down. Why is that so much better than just, say, strength training for women?
Well, think about a nurse's actual day. They're on their feet for 12-hour shifts. It's high stress. They have to lift patients, which puts a really specific strain on their lower back. Their physical needs are totally different from, say, a bodybuilder or someone who sits in a chair all day.
That makes so much sense. So if you write a generic article on how to squat, a nurse is probably just going to scroll right past it. But if you write how to protect your back when lifting patients, a guide for nurses, you have their complete attention.
Precisely. You are speaking their language. You're acknowledging their specific pain. And here's the aha moment on market size. There are millions of nurses. That tiny niche is a multi-million-dollar market. But, and here's the key, the big guys, like Men's Health, They aren't writing for them.
They're ignoring that angle completely. So when you show up, you're not a small fish in a big ocean.
You're the whale in your own pond.
It's all about relevance. I'd much rather buy from someone who gets me than a generic brand.
And the blueprint calls this the authority principle. It says, small niches create big authority. Big authority creates easy conversions. If you're the nurse fitness person, you don't really have to hard sell anything. The trust is just, it's pitched in.
Okay, so step one is find that slice of the market. But then you still have the problem of reach, right? The algorithms are stingy now. How do we reach these people without just burning out completely?
The burnout is so real. I mean, the common reaction is, I got to post more, 5 TikToks a day. And that's just, it's a recipe for quitting after a month.
Uh-huh.
So the blueprint suggests a totally different approach. It's called the content repurposing engine. It's like a waterfall method.
I'm looking at the diagram for it here. So you start with one big piece of content and then just chop it up.
You got it. You
Yep.
start with a core piece. So let's say you do a huge deep dive review on the best compression socks for nurses. You write a 2,000-word blog post. That's your source material.
Okay, so I spend, a few hours on this one really good piece of content?
Right. And in the old days, you'd just hit publish and pray. Now, that one piece becomes raw material. You take that script, you film a vertical video for TikTok summarizing the top 3 picks. You take a powerful quote and make an image for Instagram.
Oh, I see. A pros and cons list becomes a Pinterest pin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You strip the audio for a podcast clip. You send a summary to your email list. One piece of research suddenly generates 10 or 12 pieces of content all over the web.
So it looks like you're everywhere, but you're not actually working 12 times harder.
That's the whole idea. Omnipresence without the burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, it builds what the text calls trust assets.
Trust assets. I like that.
In an age of AI content where ChatGPT can spit out a generic review in 10 seconds, real human-curated content is like a luxury good.
Curated is a great word for it. It implies you're filtering the noise, not just pushing products.
Yeah, it's the whole shift. You stop being a salesperson and you become a curator. The source even lists content types that work best for this, like side-by-side shootouts, or I tested this for 30 days so you don't have to.
My favorite one is who this product is not for. I actively look for that in reviews now. If it's all positive, I just assume it's fake.
We do. If you say, look, these socks are great, BUT, if you have wide calves, don't buy and they'll pinch, you just lost one sale. But you gained a customer for life from everyone else because it shows you actually care.
That honesty is the trust asset. It proves you're on their side.
Yes, and the blueprint puts it perfectly. Trust converts better than hype. A simple, honest video will outsell the flashiest sales page every single time in 2026.
Okay, so we have the niche, we have the trust content, but we still need a way to, capture that attention and turn it into revenue. We have to talk about the system, the funnel.
Right, and this is where a lot of people get that technical anxiety. But the blueprint really simplifies it, and it warns very heavily against just direct linking. Running an ad straight to an affiliate offer.
Which is basically just lighting money on fire at this point.
It really is. Most people do not buy on the first click. So if you send them away, you paid for that click and you got nothing. No data, no way to follow up. You're just out the money.
So before we dig into the structure of a good funnel, I want to pause again because we're talking about building real assets here. Funnels, email lists. If you're listening and you're realizing you don't actually have these systems, don't just let this be entertainment. Go to www.highticketaffiliate101.com, get the course. It has the workbook, it has the templates to build exactly what we're talking about. You really need to see the diagrams for this part. Again, that's www.highticketaffiliate101.com.
Okay, so let's visualize this funnel. It's 4 basic steps. Step 1 is the lead magnet. You are not asking for a sale. You're trading value for an email address.
So for a nurse example, that'd be like a PDF guide. The 5-minute stretch routine for 12-hour shifts.
Perfect. It solves an immediate problem. They give you their email, they get the guide. Now, step 2 is the nurture sequence, an automated series of emails. You don't just hit them with buy now. You tell your story. You give more value. You're warming them up.
So you're building a relationship. It's not a one-night stand. It's a courtship.
Exactly. Then step 3 is the bridge page. This is so critical. Before you send them to the affiliate link, you send them to a page on your site where you say, hey, here's why I recommend this product. Here was my experience with
It's
them.
bridging that gap. It's like a warm handoff.
It is. And then step 4 is just retargeting.
Right.
But the core idea here is about owning the ecosystem.
This goes back to the platform risk we mentioned at the start.
It does. If your whole business is a TikTok account, you are renting property. The landlord can kick you out tomorrow. But if you build an email list, you own the building. The blueprint is very clear on this. The less you rely on a single platform, the more stable your business becomes.
So you build a central hub, a blog, a resource library, maybe even a little private community.
A resource library is a great asset. Just a simple page on your site with all your recommended tools and links, it becomes a go-to destination. So if a platform disappears, you still have your website, you still have your email list, you still have a business.
The blueprint also has a technical warning in here about tracking. It says just relying on the merchant's data is a huge mistake. Why?
Well, data privacy. Cookies are basically crumbling. Browsers are blocking all sorts of third-party tracking. So if you send a click and that person buys 3 days later on their laptop instead of their phone,
The merchant might not credit you for the sale.
you lose the commission.
Yeah.
You did all the work and get nothing.
That's terrifying.
So you need your own tracking. Using UTM parameters, link cloaking. The idea is you have to control your tracking to control your revenue.
Okay, let's shift to the money itself. Because you can have the best funnel ever, but if you partner with a bad company, you're still sunk. The blueprint talks about partner quality.
Yeah, this is where you have to think like a real business owner. You are interviewing them. There are big red flags and green flags to look for.
What are some of the red flags?
Short cookie windows are a big one, like 24 hours. That makes it almost impossible to be profitable with paid ads. Bad affiliate support is another. And the biggest one is seeing complaints on forums about lost tracking. If people are saying they aren't getting paid, run away.
And what about the green flags? What's the dream partner look like?
Recurring commissions. That's the holy grail. It's why SaaS software as a service is so big. You make one sale, you get paid every single month. You also want high conversion rates and, of course, consistent on-time payouts.
The blueprint also mentions stacking different types of offers to manage your cash flow, which I thought was really smart. It calls the waiting period for commissions Death Valley.
It really is a valley of death for new affiliates. You spend $1,000 on ads in January, you make some sales,
Yeah.
but the program is net 60. You don't see a dime of that money until April. How are you supposed to pay for ads in February?
You're broke. So what's the solution?
You diversify your offers. You need some fast-paying offers to keep the lights on. Then you have your recurring offers to build a stable monthly baseline. You mix in some high-ticket offers for those big profit spikes, and then some evergreen products that sell all year.
It's like an investment portfolio. You don't put all your money in one stock.
Exactly. It just stabilizes your income so you're not living in constant stress.
I want to circle back to the trust thing. The blueprint really emphasizes building a personality-driven brand. I know some people listening are introverts and they're thinking, do I really have to be on camera? Can't I just be a logo?
In 2026, it's really, really hard to be just a logo. Faceless brands are struggling because that trust deficit is so huge. People want to buy from people. The advice is to show your face, share your story, and this is the tough one.
Yeah.
Share your mistakes.
Your mistakes. But aren't you supposed to look like an expert?
An expert who's never made a mistake isn't believable. An expert who says, look, I tried this, I lost $500, and here's what I learned so you don't have to. That's relatable. That vulnerability is a marketing superpower.
It cuts through all the online perfection we see everywhere. It feels real.
And practically, it's your defense. Anyone can copy your blog post. No one can copy your personality. It's the ultimate moat around your business.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, the strategy, the system. What about the actual skills? The blueprint outlines a skill stack.
Yes, the 5 high-impact skills. You don't have to be a master of everything, but you need to be competent in these 5 areas. Number 1 is keyword research.
Knowing what people are actually searching for.
Right. And then on-page SEO, so Google can actually find your stuff. 3rd is content optimization, so people actually stick around and watch or read. 4th is email list building, which we've covered. It's the lifeblood.
And the last one?
Analytics and CRO. Conversion rate optimization. Being able to look at the data and say, okay, people are leaving at this step. Why? Let's fix it.
That's a solid curriculum. It really takes guesswork out of it.
It moves you from just guessing to actually engineering your success.
We have covered a ton of ground here. We've gone from the big picture of the market in 2026 all the way down to the tactics of content repurposing. We're really talking about a complete shift.
It's a maturing of the industry. It's moving from a hustle into a real business, from renting an audience to owning an ecosystem. The affiliates who are going to win in the next decade are the ones building media companies, building assets that compound over time.
That's the goal. And it is achievable. But, and I have to say this one last time, knowledge without action is just trivia. Don't let this just be an interesting deep dive you forget about. Go to www.highticketaffiliate101.com, get the course, use the workbook, use the resources. It's the toolkit you need. That's www.highticketaffiliate101.com.
I'll leave you with one last thought to think about. We talked about owning your audience. I want you to think about diversified traffic.
What do you mean by that?
Just ask yourself this question. If Google changed its algorithm tomorrow and all your search traffic vanished, would you still have a business? If TikTok got banned, would your income go to zero?
That's a scary question, but a really necessary one.
The source suggests true stability comes from a mix. SEO, Pinterest, email, little paid traffic. If one leg of the stool breaks, the stool shouldn't fall. So the question to leave you with is this. Are you owning your audience, or are you just renting them from big tech?
A powerful question to end on. Go own your audience, everyone. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you on the next one.